Welcome students, this is Ms. Martin and I have a first page Friday for you. I've got a book that I'd like to recommend. I think that this is a book worth reading. So this is a little bit different because this is actually a book of short stories. So this is called Sabrina and Corina and it is written by Collie Fajardo and Steen. Okay. I actually ran across this book because someone else recommended it to me. I saw a recommendation in a readers group that I'm in, and it sounded pretty interesting, and it was unlike anything that I had ever read before. So I thought, well, you know what, I'll give it a try and I'll see how I like it. And really, really loved it. So you've got a series of short stories here, but they have some commonalities between all of these short stories. They're not just random. So some of the commonalities are that they all take place in Colorado, and they all involve Colorado women who are either Hispanic or Native. And I really enjoyed that. I felt like it opened up some different viewpoints for me and opened up more about Colorado history. I live in Colorado myself, so it opened up more about the history and specifically the history of individual people. So not just, you know, the state history of kind of what laws were passed when and that sort of thing, but the histories of individual people and how they lived. So I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed the perspectives and the tone that the author included in the short stories. So if you're a person who likes short stories and that's something that would be of interest to you, give this book a try. I'll read the first page to you to give you a little bit of a flavor of it there. I think this book is probably going to be of greater interest to high school students rather than middle school. So kind of keep that in mind as well. You know what you like to read and you know what you are able to read at this point in life, so pick appropriately. All right, so here is the first page of Sabrina and Corina. This is the first short story that's called Sugar Babies. Though the southern Colorado soil was normally hard and cakey, it had snowed and then rained in unusual amounts that spring. Some of the boys in my 8th grade class decided it was the perfect ground for playing army. They borrowed shovels and picks from their father's sheds, placing the tools on their bicycle handlebars and riding out to the western edge of our town, Sagarwito, a place where the land with its silken fibers of swaying grass resembled a sleeping woman with her face pressed firmly to the pillow, a golden blonde by day, a raven-haired beauty by night. The first boy to hit bone was Robbie Martinez. He did so with the blunt edge of a rusted shovel. Out of the recently drenched earth he lifted a piece of brittle, faded whiteness and tossed it downwind like nothing more than a scrap of paper. "Look," he said, kneeling as if he was praying. "Everybody, come look." So that's the beginning there of Sugar Babies, which is the first short story in Sabrina and Corina. I think it was a really wonderful book, and I really enjoyed doing short stories instead of doing a novel. I typically read a lot of novels, but switching up to short stories was really enjoyable. So if that sounded like a good one to you, give it a try. Go grab a copy of it. I've seen it everywhere. I've seen it at the library. I've seen it at the bookstore. And see if this might be one of your next book.